Imagine this. You are talking with your friend about purchasing a new book, and within the next few days, you are seeing ads across your social media platforms for this exact book. Many of us have encountered an experience like this. It's known as phone listening. Good afternoon, everyone. In this presentation, we will be discussing the phenomenon that is phone listening, how it is affecting thousands of smartphone users, and how to break away from it.
The concept of phone listening is becoming an issue for smartphone users everywhere. Many people believe that smartphone microphones are listening to us 24/7 and collecting data to then target advertisements, but this is not exactly the case. It is not possible to claim that our phones can listen to us at all hours of the day, and here's why. According to Antonio Garcia, a former Facebook employee, it is unrealistic that our phones are listening 24/7 because of the amount of data storage it would require, about 33% more on a daily basis, according to Langone 2018. Former Facebook operations manager Sandy Parakilas also claimed that a constant stream of audio on one smartphone would be too expensive. Although companies like Facebook and Google deny using smartphones to collect data and target advertisements, they are not the only organizations that we should be worried about. Langone 2018 says that many third-party apps take advantage of microphone access. These apps can identify audio signals by listening to TV shows in the background or someone's surroundings. Some of these apps even take secret screenshots and video recordings and send the collected data to other organizations to create targeted advertisements, according to Mammoth 2018. According to the 1988 Data Protection Act, it is legal for organizations to access our microphones or cameras once we accept the terms and conditions on the app. Although these organizations deny doing so, we do believe that our smartphones are listening to us, to an extent, and that ads are created from the data collected through screenshots or snippets of audio. Now that you are familiar with the concepts of phone listening, we will discuss a couple theories to deepen our conversation, starting first with Panopticon theory.
The Panopticon shape was first designed by Jeremy Bentham, and it was used in penitentiaries. The guard tower would be located in the center with the inmate cells around the outer wall. Bentham's hope was that the inmates would fear they were being constantly watched and therefore behave. Michel Foucault used Bentham's design to show how society, in a sense, is a panopticon. In line with this panopticon concept, Keitzman and Angel, in 2010, stated that the public should believe that the very presence of monitoring artifacts means the virtual attendance of authority, and that being caught red-handed on camera undoubtedly leads to punishment. According to Ruth, in 2015, this panopticon style of societal surveillance is still present in today's society via the internet, cell phones, government-sponsored censuses, credit cards, and public security cameras. Ruth would consider these to be examples of contemporary institutions that can be used to track and monitor the world populace. This being said, there are many ways in which we are constantly being observed without even realizing it. Targeted ads on our smartphones is just one example. According to Farinosi in 2011, everyone online can be at the same moment observer and observed. But most of the time, as in Bentham's Panopticon building, the observer is still invisible to the observed, and the visibility is permanent. Similar to our smartphone use, we may be using an app while being monitored at the same time via audio recording or screenshot images. In line with these ideas of public observance is the concept of surveillance capitalism. The term was first introduced by Robert W. McChesney and John Bellamy Foster. It is defined as the monetization of data using consumer surveillance that monitors people's behaviors and movements online and in real life. Many companies today sell the secretly collected data to their partners and other third parties, and according to Kumar in 2017, some companies have business incentives that rely on surveilling their consumers. Zuboff in 2015 stated that surveillance capitalism is a new business model for online companies and startups. Surveillance capitalism aims to predict and modify human behavior as a way to produce revenue and market control, aka targeting ads based off of our likes and then pressuring us to spend more money. People's smartphones are now considered personal surveillance machines, according to Silverman in 2017. Think about how much time we spend on our phones, whether it's on social media, ordering food on Uber Eats, or using it as a diversion while we avoid conversation. According to Silverman, as we continue to digitize the world, we will be able to track and measure our actions, which can then be monetized and marketized, and therefore subjected to the larger forces of financial capitalism. Phone listening is a modern day example of both panopticon theory and surveillance capitalism. Tying into our communication roots, we will next discuss how phone listening connect to certain aspects of communication law.
Cell phones and the personal information that they can contain is relatively new in comparison to prior data protection laws. This presentation covers 3 different laws or regulations that a user of a cell phone should be aware of. In May of 2018, the European Union enacted the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR. GDPR requires companies to follow strict guidelines in handling of personal information. Some of these guidelines, according to the European Union, are requiring consent for data collection, storing collected data anonymously, providing breach of data notifications, and the ability to request the deletion of all personal data. This not only protects users' data, but could also potentially affect those who use smartphones for work information, as these devices may not be secure and could potentially be found in violation of GDPR. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, came into effect in 2000, but has been updated to account for cell phone and app use. This federal law, overseen by the FCC, protects children's information online. According to the FCC, some protections under COPPA include requiring consent from parents for children under 13 years of age, protection of identifiable information such as location, and mandatory deletion of data after the purpose of the application has been met. Lastly, Riley v. California is an important Supreme Court case that set legal precedent for cell phone and criminal investigations. This 2013 case worked to determine if an officer could search a suspect's cell phone legally without a warrant. On the deciding opinion, Justice Roberts wrote, "Not that the information on a cell phone is immune from search, it is that a warrant is generally required before the search. This protects the massive amount of data and the user's privacy that could be stored or violated on the cell phone and potentially be unrelated to the case." Overall, communication law works to protect us and our personal information. But is it enough? Here are 3 do's and don'ts that we can use to further avoid cell phone listening.
1. Be an informed user. Do research on the apps you download to your phone and make sure you understand the terms and conditions. If you're not comfortable, then don't download the app. 2. Turn off the microphone settings. This will disallow access to the various apps that do try to utilize your microphone. 3. Do not use Siri or other listening assistants like Alexa or Hey Google, which are always listening for their prompt to assist you.
This presentation has provided an overview on phone listening, its connection to panopticon theory, surveillance capitalism, communication law perspectives, and how to avoid it altogether. Although it may seem intrusive that our phones have the ability to listen to us, is there a way to view this as a modern convenience? Targeted ads take the grunt work out of researching or shopping across various sites. But is it really worth the lack of privacy?